Okay, so I'm here on stage for the Holiday Pops show, and we're going to walk through and take a look at all these microphones and what the setup is. So I think I might pause and flip the camera so you can see it better, but here we are in Music Hall. You guys can see up there. Our mix position is in the worst possible place up there. Second balcony all the way in the back. I'll show you that when we get up there. And let's see, you can see our PA system up here. This is I can't do this backwards. That's the HK system, Hughes and Kettner. We got 2 subs hung and then 12 boxes beneath that in that big arch. And that covers everything. We do have some front heaters for the front fills. And there's a house system that's lining the balcony that has some fills underneath the balcony for the people in the way back of the balcony. Okay, I'm gonna flip this camera around. All right, so let's start up front here. The Telarc style, at least with Robert here. These are some Sennheiser MKH 800s, I believe, is the model number. And we have the 3 here in sort of a classic Decatree arrangement. Conductor center, and then these 2 we've hung from the grid way the hell up there. We did that yesterday. It's like 80 feet up on some real thin wire. Okay, and then let's go from there. We have an outrigger here. That's the newer version of the Sennheisers, the 8020s for outrigger microphones. There's the other one. And these are probably 10 feet off the stage, perhaps. Then we have some AEA ribbons. The N8s, I think, is the model number. This is covering the first 2 sections of strings. Strings 1, strings 2, and it's either mic'd up high like that. Then we have a matching pair over here, getting the violas and the cellos, like that. Now, in addition to those mics, I have some Sennheiser 8040s, the cardioid ones, close on our first stand for cellos. Another one here for violas. These are not being recorded. These I'm just using in the PA system to help facilitate the blend out in the house. Here's our first violins, and first stand of second violins. That's a little bit higher. That's sort of like my standard helper setup for strings in the house. Now, since we're out front here, this is the Amy Moses band, and this is their setup. And they are like a string quintet with a guitar player, drummer, bass player, piano, a family that tours sound great. We have a harpist, then we have over here, and we have the recording mic out here, another Sennheiser. But for out in the house, there's a DPA 4061 shoved inside there, and that's what we're using for the PA system. That's also being recorded. Okay, and then for her vocal, we have these new AEA KU5As, one of which is mine. This is a ribbon mic that's a hypercardioid, kind of looks like an SM7. These things sound fabulous. I think they just sound marvelous. Moving on, mandolin. We have a Royer 121. To cover the mandolin. The mandolin also has a DI for tuning. That's what we're running in the house. And there's Robert, say hi.
Howdy.
This is YouTube stuff. This is the guy. This is the man who knows how to set all this stuff up. Where are they, right? So all these string players, we have. She plays mandolin but doubles on violin, and all the string players have DPA 4099s clipped on that are being recorded, but we're also using them in the house. So for our violin number 2, we've got a vocal mic, She has a DPA on the violin, and then we have this AEA. Oh gosh, I wish I had all these model numbers. Ribbon for the recording. So when she's standing here, this is the pickup for that. We do not use that in the PA system. Now, this mic. This is the lead vocal mic. This is the remake of the KU, or the original KU Superstar microphone from RCA, but this is the AEA remake of it. And I have to say, this thing sounds absolutely phenomenal. I'm kind of blown away. You would think with a ribbon mic it's going to be a little dark and we got to open up the top, and normally we're EQing some high end in the PA anyhow, but this thing just sounds phenomenal. So big fan of that. It is not a blue microphone. Don't look at that. It is an AEA. Cool. All right. So next up we have the AEA reissue of the 44, the old classic RCA. This is for the male singer who also comes out. He's not part of the band, but he's part of this show. And once again, just it sounds amazing. You would think this might be tricky in a live situation to have a figure of 8 ribbon mic, but he's on in-ears. We don't have any problem with that. This mic is actually hypercardioid, so we don't have any issue with our floor wedge here as far as feedback is concerned. We've tried to dial the monitors back as much as possible to avoid bleed for the recording and to also keep the musicians on stage happy. The orchestra doesn't like to hear a lot of bleed from monitors. They don't like that so much. And there's the pickup for her violin. That's Amy Moses herself. Then moving on, we have the violist who's not singing, so we just have the string pickup and the DPA for him. And then we're into cello. What is this AEA? What's the model on it again?
It's the A840.
A840.
Yeah.
Ribbon.
Correct.
Yes. Passive though,
It's
right?
the active version
Active.
of the R84.
Okay, active version of the R84, right. I thought, yeah, because those are, they have the black grill, whereas the active ones have the shiny grill. What I remember. Cool, okay. No cursing on the video there, Phil. KU5A for the vocal here at Guitar World. In his amp, we've used a couple of DIs to run his line all the way backstage. I'll show you that later. So let's move on here. Harp World. Another Sennheiser covering harp for the recording. And I have a dupe of that. I'm also using this in the PA as a spot mic. Back here in the orchestra, their recording mics are being split to me over Maddie for the front of house sound. Hey, Brian. Hey, stage manager Brian. How you doing?
Hi.
Light designer. I'm sorry.
Still stage manager.
And
That's my
stage manager.
Official title.
And you know,
Lovely.
the steward, everything. This is the everything man.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the stereo 84. What do they call that one?
That's an R. Oh, that's actually an active version of the 88. That actually
88.
happens to be the very first prototype.
That's the prototype one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on the other side is the passive.
Okay. Looks the same, but right. Okay. Active R88 covering our, where are we? Horns. Yeah. French horns. Actually, I haven't been back here a bunch. Looks like a bunch of 4011s on the percussion. Some Sennheisers and stuff back there. What you would expect. Sennheisers, DPA 4011s, percussion. Okay. Now, where are we going next? We're back getting into woodwinds over here. We have a flute spot, which is an N8. Lovely sounding ribbon. This looks like a Royer here in the clarinet department for a clarinet spot mic. I believe that's a Royer. Another one of those for the oboe and English horn. We have a lot of English horn features back here. Huh. And then another spot mic here for the saxophone. There's a sax solo. I have dupes of all of these mics, splits via the Happy up at front of house, which I was talking about before with setting up the Happy to parse the MADI into the Digico board so we don't have to use two mics on everything. Okay, let's take a look here. Tiffany, using a ribbon. Oh no, I think that's the pearl. I think that is the long condenser, if I'm not mistaken. It's a very unique microphone. It has a long rectangular capsule for Tiffany. That's interesting. Now we got our 84s back here for horns, trombones, and one for tuba. Then we have that passive R88 for trumpets, and it looks like we got a trumpet solo mic. Now I don't have that because I don't need it for front of house. Again, we're trying to keep things quiet as possible. Drums, real simple. Sennheiser 800 overheads, a best sounding djembe in the whole world, a DPA 4011 for the djembe. 57 on snare, M88 on the kick drum, sort of standard issue stuff, and lots of plexiglass because who wants to hear the drums in an orchestral situation? Okay, we have one more pickup over here, which is another N8 for the basses. Again, I don't have dupes, that's just for recording. Something else that we have, I don't know if I covered this. This is a 122, R122 Royer stereo ribbon up there that we hung from the attic. And that is just, stereo pickup out in the room. And gosh, I think that might be it for microphones. I'm sure I'm missing something. Oh, there's a piano. And we got some guitar stuff back here. So the piano is a 4061 DPA Mini, omnidirectional, because it's closed lid, shoved in there, and that works fine. That's my first chair violin pickup.
Hey, Ashley.
Conductor's microphone. Yes.
There's an error message on the board.
Uh-oh. Well, gotta go. So upstairs, for the main hangs, there's another Happy in the attic, and there's a upstate preamp, high voltage preamp, running the main two Sennheisers here, and then the Happy is picking up the 122, the stereo Royer out there in the house. And I think, as if that's enough, right? Not enough. I think that might be it. I haven't done a count. I'm not sure how many tracks we're running, but it's significant. Oh, we got to go look at the choir. Do a nice slow pan. One of the tricky things about the chorus mics is they're right above the percussion here, and it is really tricky. As soon as you turn up the chorus, you get percussion. It's like best drum mics in the room are the chorus mics. They're cranked up. All right, so I think it's a good place to end here. We're looking off the stage here at Lovely Music Hall. See this beautiful hall, although it'd be nice to get the screen out of the way. With the Cincinnati Pops set up for the Holiday Pops recording session and live performance here in the year 2022 with 5/4 productions of Telarc lineage recording in the classic Telarc style. All these ribbon mics. It's pretty awesome. I have to say I'm really enjoying myself doing this kind of work, and hope you enjoyed having a look at it. So still more to come.